channel. Hey, you know what time it is?
What time is it, man?
Welcome everyone to another episode of The Beatdown, the segment where two worlds collide. I am your host, Class. This is my co-host,
Miss Pie.
And what did you want to remind them, love?
Well, if you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to like or subscribe to our channel.
Yeah. And without further ado, today's episode is regarding the recent movie that's going to come out with Doctor Strange and the Multi-Madness. And we decided we're going to talk about one particular character that's also added into this movie, which happens to be Wanda Maximoff. And I'll be representing Marvel Comics' Scarlet Witch. Okay, so brief origin stories wise, let's start with Wanda Maximoff's history. So in the beginning, her dad abandoned her. Well, her mom fled from her dad because they were afraid that the dad was going to become more of a monster, and turns out the monster was Magneto. And there's actually another twist to that, but anyways, besides the point. Then the mother, once she has the children, she had two, a boy and a girl, she left them. And they wind up with the foster care of gypsies. And these gypsies were very nice people, but they had a hard life, so they had to do a lot of bad, illegal stuff in order to survive. One day, little Wanda Maximoff was, getting approached by a guy, and this kid tried to, force himself on her, and her powers kind of came out of nowhere and defended herself. This kid took it as a threat and went and told everybody that she used some kind of magic voodoo love charm on him, and then they started calling her a witch. And that's the origins of Scarlet Witch. Okay, now let's talk about powers and abilities and victories, shall we? Because I want to make sure that my argument is clear. And here is the list. She changes... so here's one great example. Magneto, one of the most strongest mutants, mega level mutants out there. She managed to change his force field into flowers. Okay, that's impressive because the ability to be able to change energy into anything is crazy. So she invented a pocket dimension where her and Vision had children together. Okay, this is an actual reality, but it's in a different dimensional reality, which is crazy. Which means she has her own little space where she can do her own thing. It's like her own private room in a universal sense. Let's see. She can bring back the dead. She can rewrite a reality. She can alternate realities. Let's see, what else can she do? She can eliminate. At one point, she was able to eliminate 95% of the mutants' population just by uttering the words "no more mutants." She was able to wipe a lot of things out. I think she eliminated the Avengers at one point. So Scarlet Witch is not somebody you want to mess with, okay? So a couple other things. She has magical projectile attacks, can incapacitate enemies of any size. Teleportation allows for surprise attacks or quick getaways. Energy blasts or force fields, explosive offense and incomparable defense. Powerful manipulation, turning any enemy's strength into their weakness. And the greatest argument I will have to say is the Phoenix Force immunity. She was able to take a hit from the Phoenix Force. Now, if you know what the Phoenix Force is something that will exist. It exists in the future, past, and present. It will exist forever. It exists in different universes, like the Ninja Turtles or the Transformers universe, if she wanted to. That's how strong the Phoenix Force is, and she took a blast from her. So don't get it twisted. Wanda Maximoff is a tough person to beat. And another thing is her probability ability, which is the ability to kind of jinx people. So let's say somebody had a weapon and they were going to shoot a gun at her or something like that. She'll be able to clog the bullet or have the bullet jam or anything like that. If somebody decides to try to throw a bolt at her, it would go at an opposite direction because her probability ability can make her avoid any kind of move. It's like a bad luck power. So that's the impressive part about what Scarlet has in her utility belt. So how I see her winning this. Well, Wanda's going to need to take them to a pocket dimension because she doesn't want Enchantress to do some altering reality. And as long as she's got the dimension and it's her home field advantage, she'll be able to alter anything that Enchantress might pull out of nowhere. Another thing is the probability thing will offer her defense. So even if Enchantress decides to throw anything at her, it's gonna be easy for Scarlet Witch to dodge it. Another thing that she's gonna be able to do is take any kind of attack being thrown at her, because if she can withstand the force from the Phoenix, she can withstand anything. So what I would say is that she would probably bring as a backup for muscle would be Rising the Dead. I would say Rising or Rising the Dead, whatever how you would say that, and have them as backup muscle so she can kind of keep her occupied while she throws down with her. In this dimension, as long as she keeps her in this pocket dimension, as long as she throws all these extra things in her direction, and as long as she gives her the full might of her, I want to say if she goes up in a version where she goes the House of M, where she can say no more mutants, she can also stop Enchantress from using her power. So she could probably eliminate her ability, and if she stops her from using that ability, I'm going to say that Scarlet Witch has this for the win.
Today I will be representing DC Comics Enchantress.
Want to go for drinks? I got this.
Alright, so here's a brief origin. June Moon decided to go to a castle party with her boyfriend at the time. And at the party, so everybody was wearing masks. And at the party, somebody happened to stumble upon a magical gong that they happened to hit, releasing the mystical forces that came with it. Eventually, June stumbles upon a throne with a mysterious rock sculpture, okay, which she thought was part of the party. And it turns out this magical stone was here to warn her of the evil magic that came out of the gong. So apparently that was unleashed, and it helps her by giving her the powers of Enchantress by uttering her name. Thus, Enchantress was born. Alright, so here are the powers that Enchantress has. This is pretty interesting, and I really like to understand more. I guess this is me just kind of like doing my own research. Before anything, keeping in mind that Enchantress, detached from June, can still take along characters like John Constantine, Deadman, Satana, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, and then Superman all at once. So that's pretty impressive. And it took Constantine a spell to put June and Enchantress back together to stop her. So before anything, I just had to mention that. So part of her powers include biofission, which includes her making clones out of herself. Then energy projection. She has energy construct creation. She also has force field. So besides that, molecular reconstruction, possession, atmokinesis, which means Enchantress is able to control the weather at will, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Cryokinesis, elemental control. Chronokinesis, meaning she can stop time. Empathy, she can plant the seeds of emotions into anyone, like rage or sadness, to try to manipulate them. Also, she can resurrect the dead, just like Wanda can, alternating reality, and she is stronger in her sense of telekinesis. Okay, so this is how I would see Enchantress winning. Enchantress would pull up the biofission, meaning she can create separate forms of herself through clones, and then that would be done to keep Wanda busy. Then while she uses her power of empathy to manipulate Wanda overall into losing control over her emotions, then that would cause a lack of control in Wanda's power. In defense, she can actually do the molecular reconstruction towards anything that Wanda would eventually throw at her in defense. And then finally, she can possess Wanda's body, giving her the sweet victory. That's just my opinion.
Okay. All right. Well, as always, folks, it's not up to me, and it's not up to my partner here at Miss Pie. It's up to you guys. So, if you like my argument, you know what you can do. You can hashtag Scarlet Witch. And if you like my girl's argument, you know what you can do?
Hashtag Enchantress.
All right. And as always, No Press fan, we really appreciate you guys. Catch you guys later. Peace.